So you might have seen in the session abstract that this session is all about short-term projects. And short-term projects were described as 1 to 3 years. Compared to this, my project was tiny. So it was really, really small, just 3 months. 3 months to develop the project, design it, collect all the data, and create the output. And I did this in partnership with Heritage. And it was more or less a two-person project, just sort of Richard and me, and trying to get as much out of it as possible. What we wanted to create from this project was something that lasts for much longer than just these 3 months. We thought about the format of our project. I'm really sort of interested and excited by interactive stuff, things you can click, and digital technology. So we try to develop something along this line. When we talk about lasting, long-lasting, something like legacy, what does legacy mean? I think most important is that we create an output that is for the public benefit. So the data that we create should benefit the public. It should relate to questions regarding heritage, archaeology, history, and how this matters to contemporary society. So the learnings from the past that we can take that relate to society, to nature and climate, globalization, economy. When we think about the format of the research the resource we want to create, how can we engage people lasting? Do we want to create a traditional report, or who will read the report? Do we want to disseminate this? Do we want to explore other creative resources, digital resources, interactive resources? And then we have to think about how do we disseminate, how do we bring it out into the public, make it interesting for the public? Do we use social media to advertise it? We can, for example, give public talks like I'm doing here. I did that actually across the UK at various conferences. I did that in Hungary at the EAA. I did that in Australia. It was amazing. And then when should we start to think about how to create this output? And I think the most important thing is that we start really early in the process of designing projects, about the opportunities, about creative ideas. How can we engage people with the resource? The example I want to present you today is this 3-month project called Venerated Women, Mapping Anglo-Saxon Female Saints. There was a project preceding the project that we had, so we could build on this. And I think we will hear about this a bit later in Richard's presentation. I'm sorry, Andrew. I'm so sorry. Andrew. And this project was finding Ian Smith. So a bit of a background. In the late 19th century, workmen found a reliquary with human remains. And the question was, and during work in the Church of St. Mary and St. Eanswythe in Folkestone, and the question was this the patron saint, St. Eanswythe, they found. And from this, the community was really interested to explore this idea. There was an NHLF funded project for 3 years, a community-led project. And what they created was a really interesting, really great website, finding Eanswythe, using text, images, videos. And that was something we could really build on. So from the start, we only had 3 months. So from the start, we thought about how can we build a project, and within the research question, we tried to integrate the resource. We wanted to create a website about Anglo-Saxon female saints. We wanted to use interactive web maps and all of this to support communities and the places associated with Anglo-Saxon female saints. And we decided that I would travel to all these places. I grasped the opportunity to journey across all of Britain, from Scotland to Cornwall to Kent. It was fantastic. And you can see here an image of Whitby Abbey, which I took really early in the morning. On a February morning, it was absolutely freezing cold, but it was a fantastic opportunity. And then we decided to visualize this in GIS and disseminate through social media. And you can see here a post on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. It's now, but there was a huge interest during the project. This is the website, how it looks today. If you want to have a look, you can scan the QR code or have a look on the website, veneratedwomen.uk. And what you can find is a bit of background information on the project. I wrote a blog. This was the first time that I wrote a blog, so very exciting for me as well. And an interactive web map, which I will come to in a minute. We had one event during the 3 months, so that's on there as well. And the research tab is more or less where I try to connect female saints during the centuries and spatially. So this is the journey I undertook. It was really fantastic to visit all the places, take my photographs, with having in mind that I wanted to create a really comprehensive resource with all sorts of audio and photographs. And this is, I don't want to go too much into detail. I don't have the time for that. But I wanted to sort of overwhelm you with the richness and depth of impressions I got, all of photographs about architectural remains, buried remains, and the people I met, and I wrote this blog about. And then we had shrines, relics, and what I was really interested in and what was great was wells and springs, so water features that were associated with Anglo-Saxon female saints in many places where I traveled to. And this is the end product, the sort of deep map, where we put all the background information. You can see there's a menu on the right side where you can change base maps. You can sort of scroll in, zoom in and out. You can either search Anglo-Saxon female saints in the selection menu on the right side, or you can just click on the dots to get the background information or photographs. And what we included was to connect this to the website of the British Pilgrimage Trust, where a lot of pilgrim routes are that are associated with Anglo-Saxon female saints. So connecting to other resources is also a good thing. I wanted to integrate audio. What you can hear is the bells of Winchester Cathedral. And if you would be standing here next to the cathedral, you could hear this. But as usual at these, with short-term projects, there was not enough time to do this. So perhaps something for the future. This is the research tab. I wanted to connect and show the interesting connection between Anglo-Saxon female saints. So going out from Ainsworth and Folkestone, you can see how Anglo-Saxon female saints, here in green, all of these are female saints are connected. And I also had in mind to do something like a network graph or show how they were connected spatially. Again, time constraints, but what you can see here is how Anglo-Saxon female saints sort of appeared over the centuries. And this is an important thing when we think about engaging the public, is always how can we evaluate it? How can we show value for money? And metrics which I used are from analytics, Google Analytics. They produce these really great maps to show where people are located who visited our site. And this shows that over the past years, even after the short project ended, more than 5,600 people visited our site, were interested. Top pages they visited were actually saints and the theme of water. The blog I wrote about this theme. My blog when I met the prioress of Minster Abbey, Mother Nicola, which was amazing. And also the interview with Guy from the British Pilgrimage Trust. So really interesting to see how many people, where they are located, and what they are most interested in, and what devices they are using. For example, most of the people who visited our site actually used mobile phones. That's something you have to bear in mind when you create the resource, because it most of the time looks very different on your mobile phone than on the website itself. In terms of output, what did we want to achieve and why is it important? I think what we wanted to achieve was to create a comprehensive resource on Anglo-Saxon female saints and create an interactive medium, a lasting medium that people can visit even years after the project has ended. And one of the academic advisors of the project said that this resource is even very interesting, not just for the public, but also for her Anglo-Saxon students. And then why is it important? As you can see here, this article from the Church Time, even if you are not specifically religious, Anglo-Saxon female saints set examples that are really important for people today. They showed examples of women who grasped opportunities in their life to do charitable things. So they still set an example for current society. And on the other hand, we were able to connect to the Pilgrimage Trust just to get people out and about and sort of show other resources and opportunities to connect to these places. And finally, key takeaway points. As I said at the beginning, we really have to make sure that we think right from the start what we want to produce, want to create. There's no one-fits-all approach. Every project needs an individual considerations, but there are a lot of examples out there which give you ideas how to create an engaging resource. We have to ensure that we have evaluations data to provide information on value for money and impact assessment. There are various possibilities, consultancies, other metrics like Google Analytics, which I used. Challenges, as I mentioned, are maintaining the website. So it's time consuming. One of the things I learned was it's really nice to have comments on your website, but I actually had to disable the comment function because I think it only took 2 weeks into the project when I was suddenly overwhelmed by spam, and I just couldn't monitor and control that anymore. It was, I think, over 150 spam comments on the website every day. That's very sad. But yeah, and it needs continuous funding. So you have to fund the server costs, domain name costs, and that needs to be also, you have to bear that in mind when you create these outputs. Because you don't want to end up with this oops or error 404. So many project websites are not available anymore, and that's really sad. And on the other hand, the huge advantage of websites is they can be a really great source to create a legacy from short and long-term projects. And thank you for your attention. And there are a lot of people I would thank, and you can see the list here, and I don't want to go too much into detail. Thank you very much.